You know who I want to have do it? Davey Save, lead us in.
Hey, what's happening, people? This is Davey Dave, along with Mark Roberts and Rodney Tootie Rings. Film Hustlers, what's happening, people? Here we go.
What's happening?
New episode, new day. Hey, man, I'm not finished with the intro, bro.
Okay, sorry.
So, okay.
For people who are tuning in for the first time, we're devoting our lives to talking about filmmaking, about hustling, about writing, directing, producing, getting your own work done. That's what we're all about here. We've done it, started from nothing, and worked our way into making some movies and making some content and making shorts. No matter what level you're at, you're struggling to figure out what you're going to do next and how you're going to do it, and to be creative. I do documentaries, I do shorts, I do whatever I can do. Sometimes it's just because I want to flex that muscle. I like flexing the muscle of making movies, and there's a lot of people out there that like doing it. And Beautiful Darkness is a great example of bringing people together, investors together, filmmakers together, good idea together, actors together. If you like the show and you want to learn more about investors, or you want to learn more about acting, or you want to learn about casting, or you want to learn about how do I get a lawyer for my movie, it's been in all of our episodes. You can go look back at it, and usually it's in the title somewhere.
Yeah, most importantly, subscribe to the show, rate us, and then hit us up on the gram. Slide in the DM. Davey Dave will say what's up.
We'll answer questions for you.
I'm not scared.
Everyone's shy, dude. It's okay.
On the Instagram, I'll get questions like, I have this idea. Do you want to produce it? Which is, by the way, not the way to do it. It's not the best way to present your work.
You got to shoot your shot, though.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate that people do that, and I do respond with, it's not for me. But today we'll talk a lot about how to get, your ideas out there, and also how to raise $1 million.
That's a good number right there.
$1 million is enough money to make yourself a real movie.
You've raised a few million, no?
The first time I raised money, it was $50,000. One person I met. And it was an interesting meeting. I sat down, I brought the script, I had my pitch ready, and we chatted for a couple of minutes, and he just said, okay, I'll do it. And I said, What do you mean you'll do it? And he said, how much do you need? I said, $50,000. He goes, yeah, I'll
you a check.
I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it. And I said, I think you should read the script. And I pushed the script over to him. I said, why don't you read this and let's talk on Monday. This was like a Saturday. And let's talk on Monday. No, it's okay. I'll do it.
I don't want to read it.
No, we're good. I'm going to read it, but I want to do it.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not he read it or not, I have no idea. But that was 50. The next time I raised money, it was $200,000 for a film called Bravo.
Yeah, that was your next thing? Bravo?
Yeah, around there.
So what was the first thing?
Yeah, the $50,000 was for
a variety show, right?
It was for a variety show. It was like I was a big fan of Saturday Night Live, and I thought it would be easy to do something like that because I understood it and I liked it a lot, and I was young. So I thought, I'm going to do that. It was the worst idea I could have ever had because it takes a lot of talent to do sketch comedy. And then I had to cast a bunch of comedians, and some of them didn't have
acting skills.
Well, they did have acting skills. They just, comedy needs to kind of mesh, and it didn't. But so I did that. But that didn't stop people from still coming to the screening and talking to me about what I was doing next and stuff. So I was still kind of searching around. So I still wanted to do comedy. So I saw this advertisement in the Hollywood Reporter that said, hey, we're a sketch comedy group and we're doing a show. And it was a little teeny, 1-inch ad. And if you want to come, give us a call. So I called and I went to see the show. And after the show, I met with the group. They were called the Ribbed for Pleasure Players. But I went and met with them and I said, hey, I want, it was with my partner, Lorena. I said, we want to do a comedy, or we want to do a film that's a parody or something like that. So Bob Coher, who was part of this group, who's gone on to direct Cristela, George Lopez.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, he's become a big TV director. But he says, I have this idea for a Quentin Tarantino spoof. So it's spoofing, instead of Reservoir Dogs, it's Reservoir Nuns.
Right.
And on and on and on. So we were like, let's do it. We didn't have any money. Like, no one had any money. I didn't have money. No, we didn't have any money. We're like young filmmakers. They don't have any money. So he's like, but I got to get paid something to write the script because I work at this restaurant in Santa Monica, on Santa Monica Boulevard, and I'm a waiter to pay my bills. So I can't write if I don't have the time off. So Lori and I went and we were put our heads together. And we're like, how much money can we do? So I sold my car.
Jeez.
I had a Toyota Corolla.
Yeah.
I sold it, $2,500, and we gave him $500 to write the script, and he wrote it. And I don't know, we had some contacts, not a lot, like friends that were assistants for other people, right? So we sent the script to Trimark at the time. And we sent the script, I'll never forget, it was Phil Goldfine. You know Phil Goldfine?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so Phil Goldfine worked as an executive at Trimark.
Yeah.
And they were looking for movies. And we sent it to Rhino Records. They were looking for movies. Anyway, the name of the movie was Plump Fiction. We sent it to both those companies. Both of them wanted to make it. And we were like, what? And then Bob was like, well, I wrote it and I want to direct it. I was like, okay, we're so young. We're so young and stupid. We're like, okay, yeah, great. So you're directing it, right? We go to sit down with Phil at Trimark. He says, we'll give you money to produce the film, but we want the Brady Bunch cast in it. And we were like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then we leave and we're like,
Brady Bunch.
that sounds crazy, but I mean, okay, no one's ever offered us anything for anything, right? So we're like, maybe. So then we go to Rhino, and Rhino's like, let's just cast the best people we can cast, and make a great movie, and we'll put up $750,000. So of course we went with Rhino.
Yeah.
And we made an indie, so that was $750,000, right? So then we went on, made that. It was because it was Rhino Records, it was a very well-known company. It was their first movie. We had great music in it. Like if you rent it today, you'll be like, oh my God, how'd they get all this music? But it was because it was a record label.
Yeah.
So we did that movie, and then I went on and I raised $400,000 to do East Side, where I met Mario.
That was the third or fourth?
He came the fourth.
Yeah.
He came in to read, and we cast him.
That's right.
And then I did. I raised.
So you haven't hit $1 million yet.
No. So then I raised $500,000 to do Poor White Trash with Jamie Presley and.
But you know what? You're $400,000 or $500,000 back in, what is this, the 90s, right?
This was like 98.
Yeah.
2000. Yeah.
Okay. In today's market.
Maybe
Wouldn't that be about
$2 million?
Yeah. So you're looking. Those are good numbers. Then.
Yeah. So those are good numbers. I'm making movies.
Yeah.
Right. They're small, but I'm making them, and they're getting distributed, and I'm selling them. And I'm meeting people. And by the way, I'm talking about great actors were in these movies. I had Bill Devane, Jamie Presley. I had a bunch of people in that movie. Even in Plump Fiction, we had like Sandra Bernhard. We had Paul Dinello. We had the voice of Homer Simpson, Bob Castellaneta. Yeah. Or something like that. But we had a lot of great people. So they're small little movies, hundreds of thousands of dollars, but I'm getting really good cast. I'm getting known. And then I really got a break because the people who gave me the money for Poor White Trash, some of them, had started raising money for bigger films. So I went over and they were like, hey, why don't you come do movies with us? Let's do The Courier, which was another Mario Lopez movie. And we got $2 million for that. So all of a sudden I jumped from 400 to 2 million.
Wow.
2.5 million.
Yeah.
Then we did Extreme Dating, 3 million, right? All at Universal, here at Universal. And so then the numbers are just sort of starting to go up. And then I got the opportunity to license Strangers with Candy to do the movie. And I went to Dave Letterman. Dave Letterman put up $4 million for that movie. So all of a sudden the numbers are starting to stack up for me.
Right.
But because I'm so busy, I forget that in 1996, I started with a $50,000 budget.
Yeah.
And in the middle of doing work and meeting people and trying to do stuff and doing this movie and doing that movie for 400 and that movie for 200, next thing you know, I'm in 2.5, 3, 4.
Yeah.
I get accepted to Sundance with Stranger with Candy. Then I do Danica with Marissa Tomei.
Yeah.
That's a $5 million movie. I mean, it just started to happen,
Yeah.
All this to say, I never thought I would raise $1.
Right.
I never thought I would raise $1, much less 50, 100, 200. When it got to 5, I was like, oh wow, this is.
Yeah.
That's it. I didn't know what was possible.
Right.
All of that to say that all of those little movies just gave me so much experience.
Yeah.
That people were like, oh, well, this guy can deliver films.
Yeah.
Not to say that I haven't learned lessons, and we all know I have. If you're ready to make your $1 million movie or millions,
Yeah.
right? There's a couple of rules that you have to follow, because you can't just go start raising large sums of money from a bunch of people. There are rules, right? And I don't know exactly. I should have looked it up, and I will look it up. If you have questions about it, you can DM us at the Film Hustlers IG. But the SEC, who governs all investments in the United States, they do take an interest in you raising large sums of money in the United States.
Over $1 million?
Yeah. If you get into over $1 million, it's not so much the amount, it's the amount of people.
Oh.
So if you can keep it around 20 or less, then you don't have to deal with the SEC. Now, the SEC changes their rules all the time. So you can probably punch into Google right now, like, how many investors are required for me to have to report to the SEC.
Yeah.
Google will tell you. But when I was raising that amount of money, it was 10. And then I think they moved it to 20. So after 20, you have to do documentation and turn it into the SEC, and the SEC has to approve it. And then they have to watch over how you handle that money.
Right.
So assuming you don't do that, which I suggest you don't, you keep it at 10.
Yeah.
Or you keep it at 20, and that's now $50,000 a person for a percentage of your movie.
Right.
Normally what happens is you get one person to put up $500,000. You have one person that is either a distributor or wants to get involved in the business or has a great big business worth $10-20 million, and they want to dabble in this.
Yeah.
$500,000 is not going to kill them. They're willing to do it.
Yeah.
They have, like Ravi Chopra, who was a good friend, and he put up the money for East Side.
Yeah.
He had a private jet. He had a Ferrari, and he had some other locations. And we used, in addition to his money, he also offered those up as free things to use in the movie, and we did, and we used them.
Nice.
So if you find an investor that has things that you can use in your movie free of charge that make your movie look bigger, you can do that. But for $1 million, you can pretty much, you can have a stunt coordinator, you can have trucks to honey wagons, you can have a caterer, you can have costume designer, you can have a real crew handling camera, separate sound guy, the whole thing. Now, you could do it with one person, like we were talking on the last show, right? You could do one cameraman with his sound, and you keep everything compact. Sometimes that looks good too. No need to go crazy. Yeah. But if you have always wanted to do it with a full crew, I would say you got to be realistic. Maybe if you have $1 million or about that, probably a crew of about 25, 30 people is going to be the most you can handle. Yeah. And then you'll have to use some unions, right? The Screen Actors Guild is an absolute must. Like you have to, but they'll work with you. If you have if you fall into the low budget, which I think $1 million does, then you don't have to pay actors as much. Yeah. You have to promise them, that if you sell it, that there's other money to come, but it's worth doing, and you end up with every actor wants to work, so you end up paying them, I don't know, whatever those amounts of money are that the guild agreed to. Yeah. And I think it's all negotiable at that point. But as long as you pay into their pension and health, you're safe,
Yeah.
You don't have to use the Directors Guild if you're the director, if you're doing it and you don't have a guild. And you don't have to use the Writers Guild if you are a writer that hasn't joined that guild. You don't have to. There's no one's going to force you. So there's lots of good stuff in the $1 million area that makes it possible for you to do a good movie. Now, if you're going to do your own movie at $1 million or so, you got to make sure that script's about 85 to 90 pages. Because if you're going to shoot 20 days, which is actually a lot for this kind of movie, I would say like a TV movie shoots in 14, 15 days, which means that's 3 weeks, 5 days a week. You could shoot 6 days a week and shoot it in 12 days, 2 weeks. Yep. That would mean that over a 12-day period, you need to shoot 90 pages, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of pages.
That is a lot.
Right. So if you do 15 days, that spreads it out a little bit better, but you do need to move fast, which means that you need to keep your locations minimal.
Yep.
So maybe every third, I would say the rule is every third of the movie is one location.
Yeah.
So if you got the beginning of the movie and it's at a house that shows up throughout the movie, third
Knock
of
it
it
out.
should be at the house.
Yeah.
A third of it should be in the midtown if you're doing something in town, on the streets, you
Yeah.
know, that you can move around in town. And then the finale, wherever that finale is going to be, either a building or a park or, you know, wherever that is, you end up doing it in one place. That way, those three locations end up becoming your whole movie.
Yeah.
And you don't have to move a lot. When we did Holiday in Santa Fe, we were able to walk to every location every morning.
Yeah.
Practically, not every single day, but for like, I'm going to say 75% of the movie, we just walked to locations, and then the other 25% was someone's house,
Oh, right. Right.
or roller rink.
Yeah.
But that was like one day.
Yeah.
So yeah, so just keep an eye on your locations, keep an eye on your page count, and let's talk about asking people for money. Now, if you are raising $1 million, you cannot ask your family unless you have a rich uncle, unless you have somebody who just won the lottery. You can't be asking your family for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So then you really have to get buttoned up. Now you have to like get some graphic. You know, there's great Fiverr, I think, Fiverr.com.
Yeah.
Like these are people that do artwork all over the world, like people in India, people in China, people in like Mexico, and they'll take on your project, and you could pick like for $150, they'll do a poster for you, or they'll do a piece of art, right?
Yeah.
If you go to, let's say you want a really good synopsis, a one-pager that you can offer to investors along with the 90-page script, because there are investors that don't read scripts, okay?
Right.
So if you offer them the script and a cover page that's a one-pager, tells you the whole story on one page, you can get that at myscreenplay.com, right?
Okay.
You have them cover it, and within the coverage, which is $79, you could pay an extra like $30, I think, $35, and they will do a synopsis for you.
So they'll read your script.
Tell you if they have if you have problems.
Tell you if you have problems, but then they'll also write a one page for you.
Yeah,
off
they'll
of-
write a synopsis,
Yeah, and
yeah.
then plus okay.
So you can use that
Yeah.
as your sell sheet, right?
And how much is that?
$79 for the coverage?
Yeah.
And I think another $40 or so for the synopsis.
Oh
yeah.
wow, that's not bad.
Yeah, and that's at WeScreenplay.com.
Yeah, so you're talking about your couple $100. You're in. You got a pro deck ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, if for some reason you're like, oh, I want to make sure that all my T's are crossed and my I's are perfect and it's proofread,
Yeah.
you can also get it proofread there. I think that's more expensive. It's like $199 or something like that.
Yeah.
But you're talking about a professional proofread, right? So
Yeah.
if you have any issues and like an investor that you're working with just is really has issues with like how you wrote it,
Yeah.
you know, or you want to make sure that you didn't misspell anything, or that you,
Yeah.
or if you're like Stearns, where you're like all concerned about, you know, punctuation,
Yeah.
then that's where you go. Get
Right.
it done right, so that when you hand it, look, if you're going to ask someone for $100,000 or
You better-
$500,000, it better read.
Yes.
Button it
Well,
up, buddy.
Button it up.
Button it up.
Now you also too. Say that investor says, "Hey, listen, I'm going to give you $500,000. My daughter really wants to be an actress. Is there something for her?"
Yes, there's something for her. Absolutely.
Okay. Now, what size? She's never acted.
Well, I don't know. First of all, here's what I would say. I would say like, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me meet her.
Yeah.
Why don't you have her read the script, see what she likes,
Yeah.
and let me meet her and let me read with her,
Yeah.
and let's see what we can give her. And depending on her, how good she is, we'll give her something. But no matter what, we'll get her something good.
Yeah. No matter
We'll
what.
get her SAG card if she doesn't have her SAG card.
Yeah.
You know, we'll get her
okay.
into the union.
Incentives.
Whatever. Yeah.
Incentives.
Yeah, and I think that that's a fair thing to do. There's nothing wrong with that. He's trying to help you. You're trying to help. He's
Yeah.
trying to help his daughter.
Yeah.
Here's another thing that you can do. If for some reason, I used to do this a lot. To raise money, you have to make promises,
Yeah.
but you can't lie, right? Because if you lie, then you get yourself stuck. You have to be very clear and concise about what you're going to promise. So let's say you're going for $1 million and I'm sitting with you and I know that you're capable of doing and that you have friends that could do it, right? That we can do the $1 million just with you and your friends.
Yep.
I would say to you, look, we're looking for $1 million. I'd like to try to do it with you and the people that you know if that's possible. And what I will say is this. Let's go ahead and put $100,000 in the bank, a bank account that we can supervise together. And let me go after some actors. What kind of actors do we like for this? You like a Lilo Brancato? You like a Mario Lopez? You like Emilio Rivera? Who do you like? Well, if I got you Emilio Rivera or if I got you Mario Lopez, would that be worth putting the $5 in? And who would it take to get your other friends interested?
Yeah.
Because then I did this on Danica. I said, put $250,000 in. If I don't get Marissa Tomei, I'll give you back the money. That movie ended up costing $5 million.
Yeah.
But that's how I started. I said, if I can't get her,
then I give you your money.
Then I give you your money back.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to make bold moves. So you couldn't.
Were you already in talks with her or no? Oh, you just
but I had Joseph Middleton.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Joseph Middleton's the biggest casting director in the world. He was back then. He's still today.
Yeah.
By the way, he wants to be back on the show. He texted me and said, "Can I come back on the show?"
Nice.
I feel like I have more to say.
Nice.
But yeah, I had a great casting director, and and that helps too. By the way, like let's say you want your Joseph Middleton. Go find a movie you love, find out who the casting director is, give that casting director a call. Casting directors are not like actors, and they're not like producers. They're not going to pretend like they're big time, right? They're just going to be like, how much are you going to pay me?
Yeah.
Right? So if they did a movie that you like and the investor thinks that they are important, slip them $5,000 and say, hey, let's get this process started because the money will release as we get good actors. So if you can promise to move forward in good faith and say, you give me $100,000, let's go after here. I'm going to hire a casting director. We're going to start locking down actors. If I can get these 2 actors that you and I agree are great, then the rest of the money will be there.
Yeah.
If you can get an investor to play ball like that, and sometimes they do, they're gamblers. They're people that want to see you succeed.
Yeah.
And if you're willing to gamble, they will gamble with you.
Now, you got to get paperwork for all this, right? You're not just going off a handshake.
That's a handshake.
Oh, that's a handshake?
Yeah, I mean,
because the money goes in the account. So once the money goes,
the money goes in the account. You still have to have a contract. He's not going to put any money in your account without a contract. So that, just to give you an example, that contract would look like this. I'm making a deal with Tootie for $1 million movie. He's going to put $100,000 in as a development fund agreement. We're going to hire a casting director and go after actors and pay or play them. If I'm able to secure these 2 actors, then I get another $500,000 or I get the full $1 million or whatever. If I don't, he gets back whatever money we didn't spend.
First of all, I'm broke, so I don't have that. So I'd be going to you and saying, Roberts, you got Fedia. Just reverse those roles.
Right, but you reverse it. But that's what an investor is going to play with, right? That's the deal you're going to make with them. Investors want to see you on the move. Don't think that an investor is going to say, all right, sounds good. Why don't you put everything together, and once it's together, I'll invest. That's not how it works, and it also sometimes doesn't work like put in the money, we'll start spending, and once we get everyone in place, that doesn't work for either side, right?
Yeah.
Because one side has to commit before you can get it done. Yeah. What if you don't have to commit on either side? What if it's just like, look, why don't you stick your toe in, let me stick my toe in, I'll prove what I'm saying, you'll prove that you have the money, and the minute I say do what I say, you'll release the rest of the money, and your friends will come in or whatever.
Because they're already in then at that point.
Yeah, because they're already a little pregnant and they're involved. Yeah. So I think that those systems work really well. If you don't know any actors or don't know, again, like if you're in a position where you're just looking for $1 million, but you have great writing skills, you've directed some shorts, you have some ability, you've won some stuff. Yeah. And you have something to offer, then get yourself a good lawyer, get yourself a good casting director,
Yeah.
and then start making some promises.
Yeah.
Okay, these are the actors I want. What do you think of? Ask an investor. What do you think of these actors? I like that guy. Don't like that guy. A lot of people ask me, hey, should I attach an actor to my script so that I can go sell it? My answer is no.
Yeah.
If you have an actor that's going to do your movie, then why attach him? What's that going to do for you? Unless you have an investor that agrees that actor is going to release the money,
Yeah.
then you don't need to attach anybody.
Right.
Right? Because what you need to do is say, like, to the investor, I know this actor and he's willing to do it. Do you like him? And if the investor says, like, if you had him,
I'm in. Yeah.
then boom, you're done.
Yeah.
You don't have to attach anyone or prove any paperwork or show anything. You just have to go to that guy and go, like, hey, I'm going to give you $100,000 to be in this movie. And he's going to like, that's awesome. I'll do it,
Yeah.
So
I think that's a misconception because people tend to think get attachments and then the money will come.
no, don't attach anyone. Say they're attached. If you talk to an actor and he's willing to do your movie, that's an attachment.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly you can't attach anyone until you know what date they're shooting.
Right.
You can until you talk to their agent.
Let's fucking go. I'm ready. I'm excited right now.
Let's go.
But that's one way to start locking in your dough, right? Again, people that have businesses, people that aren't necessarily, a lot of times when I was a young filmmaker and doing it, late 90s, I did work with people that weren't in the business. You know, people that had like trucking companies, people that had flower companies, people that had broker dealers, people that worked in far away from the film industry, but found it very attractive and fun. You go to them with ideas and they feel a sense of power and excitement about being part of that. But their contribution is large sums of money.
Right.
Your contribution is to be honest, do the best creative work you can, and bring on some good people.
Yeah.
If you're standing there and Joseph Middleton is standing to your right and this great lawyer like Walter Batt standing to your left, you've got like a really good team ready to go there.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
if you don't have Joseph and Walt and you're in Missouri and you're listening to this, how easy is it to get an attorney, like an entertainment attorney? Is it expensive? Because say you do
it's so hard. I mean, if you listen to the show and you're in the position to start doing stuff, I would call Walt.
Yeah.
I would call Walter Batt and either get a recommendation or hire him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to find a good lawyer because I think entertainment lawyers are expensive and they're working in the industry. I was very lucky to find Walt and to set up a working relationship with him.
Yeah.
If you can find a lawyer that wants to be in entertainment, that's a young lawyer, that's willing to learn on the job with you, all you have to make sure is that he has a good personality and he can sell you as a filmmaker, because a lot of these investors, they don't end up talking to you a lot at the beginning because they're talking to your lawyer. Your lawyer is making sure that they understand
the deal.
Well, they understand the deal and that they know that they're going in business with someone who's not going to steal their money, who's not going to use their money for anything except for what you're saying you're going to use it for. And your lawyer represents that you're going to do that.
Yeah.
Right? So if you have a good lawyer that can speak to these people and have them feel comfy with the idea that, so I'm giving this lawyer the money, and once we sign, then he's releasing it to Tootie, and he's going to do the right thing with it based on this lawyer's promise to the state.
Yeah, exactly.
That there's no funny business here. Yeah. Then you end up in a great position because that's who you are. That's who they see. So your lawyer is very important because he sells you. He's honest. Just find yourself someone who's not slimy.
Yeah.
And get yourself into a great position, because then at the end of it, once you're done with the movie, your lawyer has to help you sell it.
Yeah.
And you need to make sure that you have all the elements that go with selling a movie, right? Which is your masters, your music sheets, your contracts, all that stuff. Your lawyer is going to say, like, hey, Tootie, make sure we get everything signed off on. Hey, Tootie, make sure that everyone has signed their SAG contracts. All those types of things that a line producer will help you do too.
Yeah.
But getting back to the $1 million, set up your 5 or 10 or 20 people that you're going to bring in. Okay. So if someone wants 10 slots at $50,000, that's $500,000.
Yeah.
If somebody won the lottery and says, I'll give you $200,000, okay, that's going to take 4 slots.
Yeah.
Or 4 shares.
Yeah.
And then you give up 50% of the movie. And then for your actors, they may ask for percentages from your 50, right? There's 50% for investors and there's 50% for creative.
Yeah.
You divide that however you want to divide that.
Yeah.
But get yourself prepared. Let's just go back to basics. You need a good idea. You need a good script.
Yep.
You need to get that script covered, and you need a synopsis so that you can send it to people. Go to WeScreenplay.com, get your script covered, get it proofread to make sure that it reads well. Get yourself your cover page. Just be organized with your stuff. Even with your casting director, he's going to have to send it around too. So might as well have him have like a great copy of it. Your investors get that. Make sure your lawyer has all your paperwork together. Make sure your lawyer can take conversations, because what's going to happen is this. You're going to go meet with an investor. You're going to say like, hey, it's Mark Roberts. It's nice to meet you. I heard you were interested. I am interested. Here's the story. Ooh, I love the story. How much do you need? I'm looking for $1 million. You can do anywhere between 100 and $1 million. You could do the whole thing. I'd much rather just work with you. Yeah. So that's just you and me. If we bring on other people, then there has to be other voices on your side. But if it's just you, $1 million, we do it together. If he says, you know what, I love that idea, let's do it. Great. Tomorrow, you're going to get a call from Walter Batt, and he's going to give you all the details. You guys will iron out how you want to see this contract laid out, and then you guys will sign it. And once you figure out that we're doing this, your money will go into his trust account. And once we're happy with the contract and we sign it, then that money gets released.
And then we get
and then we can get started. And then if he's like, well, I'm concerned about this, I'm concerned about that, you can start making deals. Okay, how about you do 100? Let's leave $1 million or however much you're putting in escrow in my lawyer's trust, and we'll use 100 to start hiring casting director, pay my lawyer, our lawyer now, and start bringing on cast members, and you and I will pick who we think is the best. And if he goes, well, I don't know, well, you're right. Let's call Clay Epstein, figure out what would work for him.
And who's Clay Epstein?
As a distributor. He's a distributor. Yeah. You know? And then you can call any distributor and go like, hey, I'm making this movie for $1 million. It's an action film. It's a thriller. What are the names that are working out there? When I'm done with it, I'll bring it to you. Yeah. But give me an idea of who would tip the scales for you. Yeah. So that's a lot of information. We can get into it more. If there's something I missed, you can DM us at the Film Hustlers IG, and we'll answer any questions. But that's sort of how you can get started. That's the large sums of money are going to require more organization by you. Yeah. A really great script.
Get a good producer. Very important. If you're writing and directing, find a Mike Roberts. That's your brother.
You get Mike Roberts too. Well, get a Dave, or get yourself a good line producer. That line producer will supervise the majority of your stuff, and then you have to supervise the big stuff, the creative part of it. But if you can get a producer to bring in money for you, and then he becomes the producer or she becomes the producer, that's okay too. There's lots of ways to raise money. It's not just on you. You know, you could bring in other producers and say, like, if you can raise 500, you know, you could be a producer and we can do this together. There's so many ways to include people, but the bottom line is just get yourself organized. Your script first, your synopsis, so that people can read what it's about, so that they don't have to read the whole script to figure out if they want to work with you. Yeah. That's so important. Yeah. Because if I read a whole script and I'm like, I was never going to do this. Right. Like, what's the point of that, right? You got to give them a page so that they can go like, okay, I read that in like 5 minutes and it's not for me, or I read that and that's awesome, I'll read the whole script. This is great. This is exactly what I'm looking for. So get yourself organized. Make sure it's proofread. Make sure it's a good project. Make sure it's high concept, in my opinion. Make sure it's high concept, that you can tell the story really quick and get people going like, oh my God, that's amazing, right away. And then go get yourself organized and get your investment documents together. Get your lawyer that can speak to the investor, and you should be off to the races. After that, you could either decide to go to festivals with the movie as a potential sale item, or you can go directly to distributors, you know, get some publicity, depending on if you hire an actor that gets press, do a press release, say what the movie's about, put your actor out there. Some distribution companies will call you based on this article.
Wow. Yeah, that's important.
You know what you can do too? You can polish off your project with some find music?
Yeah, extrememusic.com. Without extrememusic.com, you got nothing.
You got nothing.
Well,
you got
I mean,
the bookkeeper. You got nothing.
If you have $1 million, you can get yourself probably a pretty good composer. There is a lot of composers in this town. I mean, I'm talking about a lot.
Yeah.
And there's some overseas. The guy that I love to use, Cesar Vega, he's in Mexico.
Yeah, really
and,
good.
And we just send him all the stuff, and he sends it all back. I work with him all the time. You can go straight to extrememusic.com,
Yeah.
just like Dave said, and you could pick all of your temp music there. In fact, some of it may stay. I'll tell you what, you pick all of your temp music off of extrememusic.com for your first cut, and then decide what you want the composer to change.
yeah.
You know, you can even find themes for your characters in extrememusic.com. It's an amazing service, and I think that's what do they say? Music is how much of your film?
50%.
50% of the enjoyment of your movie is
Yep.
going to be because of the music.
Imagine Jaws without. Dun, dun.
I was laughing the other day because I was thinking, you know, I just did a test screening with 200 people from all over the United States on Meet Me Next Christmas.
Yeah.
And it tested really well. But I thought to myself, you know, what if they test screened Jaws? Like, test screenings are so backwards sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
you can watch a movie like Jaws and everyone agrees that it was great.
Yeah.
But then if they start asking you questions like, well, did you think the shark looked real? Like, you can't help but say, like, well, no, it didn't look real. Did you think that when it was being stabbed, do you think that seemed like a real shark?
Yeah.
No.
Or when Rocky fought Apollo, did you think that he was really hitting him? Because that shot, he missed him by like 3 feet.
Right. Do you think yeah. Like,
know.
some of it looked real, but really, they never really came, the hits never came that close to his face.
No.
Yeah. So I think that's really interesting about test screenings. Is I think that if they ask you the right question, they can get you to go either way.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could end up hating a movie that you just said you liked
Right.
because you're like, well,
I
no,
love
just-
Jaws, but that shark was so fake, and he didn't really stab me. You know what? I hate this movie.
Right. Next thing you know, you leave. Like, would you recommend it to anyone? No.
No, it's ridiculous.
Well, anyway, I love that the past couple of shows have been about financing and about making movies and about the nitty gritty and about how to use casting directors and lawyers, and you know, these are important things, and if you use them properly and get the right people, it's ends up being the most important thing to your business.
Yeah, for sure.
We raised money on the show for Beautiful Darkness. Now it's doing really well. We're hoping to get into some bigger festivals, and we'll be announcing here in the next few months where we're going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and any investors out there, let's make a feature or a series.
Call Rod to
do
the
it.
rinks.
Slide him the DM.
Get it on.
Let's get it on. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. Don't forget to rate us and to
Subscribe.
and we'll see you next time on Film Hustlers.
I'm hyped. Let's go let's raise money. Roberts, come on.